A very good morning to my dear students. I hope that you all are doing well. So, do you remember what we discussed in the last class? We just started the beginning paragraphs of second section, and we were discussing about Ajit Bajaj and Diya Bajaj, how they climbed the Mount Everest and how they were able to plant their national flag on the top of the Mount Everest. So, now let us move to the next paragraph. Adventure is a way of life. This is actually the title of the section. Adventure is a way of life, and adventure is whose way of life? Here it is Ajit Bajaj and Diya Bajaj's way of life. They were the people who always give predominance to adventure trips. So, in that way it became a part of their life. So, we can say that adventure is a way of their life. Ajit, I was born in Dharamsala in Himachal Pradesh. My father introduced me to the outdoors. He took me out trekking in the mountains. I attended a school in Himachal and went to Delhi's St. Stephen's College, which had a strong outdoor club. I started climbing, rafting, skiing, and eventually took up adventure sports professionally. So, now it is a hobby, passion, and profession rolled into one for me. I was lucky enough to introduce Diya early to the extreme outdoors, and she took to it naturally. So, here Ajit says that he was born in Dharamsala. Dharamsala is actually a place in Himachal Pradesh, and right from his earlier childhood, he was introduced to such adventure trips, or he was introduced to such adventure things by his father himself. That is what it is written here as, my father introduced me to the outdoors. So, it was actually Ajit's father introduced Ajit into outdoors. He took me out trekking in the mountains, and his father took him for trekking in the mountains. I attended a school in Himachal and went to Delhi's St. Stephen College, which had a strong outdoor club. So, after his primary education, he went to take admission in St. Stephen's College, a very famous college in New Delhi, and St. Stephen College offered a vast exposure, a huge exposure for such outdoor activities. So, it is said that the college had a strong outdoor club. That means it offered a huge exposure for all these kinds of outdoor activities. So, from there he started climbing, rafting, skiing, and eventually took up adventure sports professionally. So, from that time he used to climb, he used to raft, he used to ski, and eventually took up adventure sports professionally. So, the life at St. Stephen actually enabled him to develop a kind of interest in climbing, rafting, skiing. As a result, later he became a man who is very much interested in adventure sports professionally. So, that was actually his background. And what do you mean by raft? Rafting is actually an activity of traveling down a river on a raft. And what do you mean by raft? A small boat made of rubber or plastic that is filled with air. So, you might have seen it in some amusement park or something like that. This is actually the picture of raft. Raft is, as we mentioned, it is actually a small boat made of rubber or plastic that is filled with air. So that means the life at Saint Stephen enabled him, a person who is well versed in climbing, rafting, skiing, and so actually it is a life at Saint Stephen which actually made a change in Ajit's way of life. Now it is his life, it is his hobby, it is his passion, and it is his everything. I was lucky enough to introduce Diya early to the extreme outdoors, and she took to it naturally. And Ajit says that it was actually his father who took him to the outdoors at his early childhood. Now Ajit says that as a father he was much lucky than his father, because he was lucky enough to introduce Diya to the extreme outdoors early as his father did. And he also says that she took to it naturally. That means she had an interest over all these things. So it was not actually a very difficult task for Ajit to introduce her to extreme outdoors at an early period, because she had an interest in all those things. Diya: ever since I was little, I have been outdoorsy and sporty. I swam in the school nationals and have a black belt in Taekwondo. I am lucky to have Dad as my partner. We did cross country skiing in 2012, and I was the youngest person on the planet to ski across the Greenland ice cap, which is the second largest chunk of ice after Antarctica. Ever since I was little, I have been outdoorsy and sporty. What do you mean by outdoorsy? Outdoorsy means associated with outdoors. Then what do you mean by sporty? Favorable to sports. So Diya was always associated with outdoors. So that means she was always taken to outdoor activities. She was always taken to outdoor activities, like she was more interested in outdoor activities. She was not at all interested in sitting at the home or something like that. Instead, she always wanted to go outside and do something there. So in that way, she was outdoorsy, associated with outdoors, and sporty, favorable to sports, and she was very interested in sports activities. Okay. I swam in the school nationals and have a black belt in Taekwondo. I swam in the school nationals and have a black belt in Taekwondo. So she used to swim in the school nationals, and she has also a black belt in Taekwondo. What do you mean by Taekwondo? Meaning is provided there a Korean system of fighting without weapons similar to karate. So it is actually a Korean sports activity similar to her karate, and she has a black belt in Taekwondo. That means she was very much interested in all those things. She was always taken to outdoors. That means she was always associated with such kind of outdoor activities. I am lucky to have Dad as my partner, because it was actually Ajit who took her to outdoor activities right from her earlier childhood. We did cross country skiing in 2012, and I was the youngest person on the planet to ski across the Greenland ice cap, which is the second largest chunk of ice after Antarctica. And in 2012, the father and the daughter together did a skiing expedition, and Diya was recognized as the first youngest person on the planet to ski across the Greenland ice cap, which is regarded as the second largest chunk of ice after Antarctica. And what do you mean by chunk? Chunk means a part that has been separated. So taking Greenland ice cap, as the second largest part of ice after Antarctica. It was a great achievement from whose part? It was a great achievement from Dia's part. And Dia was the youngest person on the planet who has been recognized with such a rare acknowledgement. The journey. Ajit, we were both in good shape, but we were still apprehensive. We had butterflies in the stomach, fear of the unknown. Halfway through our journey, there was a huge storm one night. We were climbing on steep snow slopes, and it was extremely hard with gusty winds blowing at 50-60 km per hour. We were worried that our tent would disintegrate or get blown away with us. A lot of negative thoughts crossed our minds. We didn't think we would be able to go ahead that night. But luckily, the next morning, the wind died down and things fell into place again. So, in this paragraph, Ajit is recalling the difficult times they had while they were climbing the Mount Everest. We were both in good shape, but we were still apprehensive. Even though they were physically fit, they were too much worried about the fact that something unpleasant may happen at any time. We had butterflies in the stomach. Butterflies in the stomach is actually usage, and the meaning is provided in your textbook. So, go through it. Had butterflies in the stomach, that means they felt very nervous. So, we had butterflies in the stomach, that means even though they were much confident, they had butterflies in the stomach, that means they were very much nervous. And they had fear of the unknown. They had a fear of the unknown, that means something may occur as unpleasant at any time while they were climbing the Mount Everest. Halfway through our journey, there was a huge storm one night. As they expected, there was a huge storm one night. We were climbing on steep snow slopes, and it was extremely hard with gusty winds blowing at 50-60 km per hour. So, it was very speedy. And as you all know, they have to climb steep snow slopes. And while they were climbing such steep snow slopes, if there was a huge storm, what may happen? It definitely made their journey, or definitely it made their climbing a little more difficult. And we were worried that our tent would disintegrate or get blown away with us. So, they were afraid that their tent would disintegrate. Would disintegrate means break into pieces. The meaning is given there, break into small pieces and be destroyed. So, they were afraid that their tent would disintegrate, that means their tent would destroy or get blown away with us, or get blown, that means or get destroyed with them. A lot of negative thoughts crossed our minds. So, suddenly there occurred a lot of negative thoughts. We didn't think we would be able to go ahead that night, but luckily the next morning the wind died down and things fell into place again. And no way, they never think that they would be able to go for climbing that night. But luckily, the next morning everything was all right, and they were able to start their climb again. Dia, my mom was stressed out but kept in touch with her. She worries about us, but she has been our pillar of strength. There were no issues with the mobile network. In fact, the signals were pretty good. I even FaceTimed with my sister who is in Switzerland. My mom was stressed out, but we kept in touch with her. You all know that our parents have so much concern about us than any other people. So, here also Dia's mother was very much worried about Dia, and my mom was stressed out, but we kept in touch with her. So, Diya's mom was very much worried, but still Diya was able to lessen. Diya was able to lessen, or Diya was able to reduce her worries simply by keeping touch with her. She worries about us, but she has been our pillar of strength. Diya's mother had worries about them, but still Diya regarded she is a pillar of their strength. There were no issues with the mobile network, so that was actually a fine thing, and they were getting pretty mobile network connection there. In fact, the signals were pretty good. I even FaceTimed. FaceTimed is actually an application like WhatsApp or something like that. So, I even FaceTimed with my sister who is in Switzerland. So, we have seen that they were getting pretty network. So, they were able to keep in touch with their relatives, keeping touch with her mother, sister, etc. The last night before the feat. Ajit, we didn't sleep much. It was really cold. The temperatures were anywhere between 35 and 40 degrees Celsius. We continued climbing, and to our shock, my oxygen mask malfunctioned. It froze just an hour and a half below the summit. I couldn't breathe. I was pushing myself hard. Diya couldn't have waited for me. She was climbing well, and it made no sense to make her wait. We didn't sleep much. So, it was really cold. So, they didn't even sleep better because of what? It was very cold, and you know that it is the highest snow mountain, and you can simply imagine how cold it was there. It was really cold. The temperatures were anywhere between 35 and 40 degrees Celsius. So, it was very cold, and they didn't even sleep much. We continued climbing, and to our shock, my oxygen mask malfunctioned. And even though it was very cold, even though there were so many difficulties, they still going for the climb. They were still climbing the Mount Everest. And we continued climbing, and to our shock, my oxygen mask malfunctioned. Suddenly, Ajit identified that his oxygen mask was not functioning. It was malfunctioned. It froze just an hour and a half below the summit. So, when they were almost nearer to the top of the Mount Everest, when they were almost nearer to the top position of Mount Everest, Ajit identified that his oxygen mask was not functioning. I was pushing myself hard. Even though he identified that his oxygen mask was not working in the proper way, apart from all those difficulties, Ajit was actually working hard enough to continue climbing. I was pushing myself hard. Diya couldn't have waited for me. She was climbing well, and it made no sense to make her wait. So, Diya could not have waited for whom? Diya could not have waited for Ajit. If she waited for Ajit, even she would not be able to climb the mountain. Diya, we were to do it together, but stopping at that point would have ruined my chances as well. So, I kept climbing. It was a difficult call that we took. Diya says that we were to do it together. So, actually they dreamt of climbing the Mount Everest together. We were to do it together. But stopping at that point would have ruined. But we have seen that Ajit's oxygen mask got malfunctioned, and he was all the way working hard enough to continue climbing. So, at that time Diya says that, but stopping at that point would have ruined. We have seen that Diya was not at all waiting for whom? Diya was not at all waiting for the father, her father. That means, but stopping at that point would have ruined my chances as well. So, it was actually at a point where they were very close to the summit of Mount Everest. So, at that point waiting for her father would actually have ruined her chances as well. That is why she did not wait for her father. So, I kept climbing. It was a difficult call that we took. This was actually a very difficult situation they faced. Ajit: luckily, I found a spare mask and could resume climbing. I followed her up to the summit. I climbed as fast as I could to catch up with her. Diya reached the summit at 4:30 am. It was dark, but she was lucky enough to see the sun rise from the Everest. I reached 15 minutes after her. The mountain goddess was kind to us. We were both extremely emotional. Planting the national flag on the summit was a very, very special moment for both of us. Ajit: luckily, I found a spare mask and could resume climbing. So, suddenly, he was lucky enough to find a spare mask and started climbing. I followed her up to the summit. So, from the time he got a spare mask, he started climbing and he was actually following Diya. I climbed as fast as I could to catch up with her. So, from that time onwards, Ajit strived a lot to be along with her. So, in that way, he was climbing just after her. Diya reached the summit at 4:30 am. So, fortunately, Diya was able to reach the summit of Mount Everest at 4:30 am. It was dark, so but she was lucky enough to see the sunrise from the Everest. So, Diya actually climbed the Mount Everest, or Diya actually reached the top of the Everest at 4:30 am. So, as you all know, 4:30 am means there was a little bit darkness. Only because she reached the top of the Mount Everest at 4:30 am, she was very lucky to see the sunrise from the top of the Mount Everest. I reached 15 minutes after her. So, Ajit was also able to reach the summit of Mount Everest 15 minutes after Diya reached there. The mountain goddess was kind to us. So, because there were any more difficulties there. So, he says that the mountain goddess was kind to them. We were both extremely emotional. So, the time they reached the top of Mount Everest, they became so much emotional. Planting the national flag on the summit was a very, very special moment for both of us. So, they said that after conquering or after reaching the top of the Mount Everest, the first thing they did was they planted the national flag there, the tricolor national flag. Yesterday we discussed the tricolor national flag, and it was actually an emotional moment for both of them. First thoughts. Diya: it was a lot of relief. We had both done it. It was surreal. I took a while for the feeling to sink in, but the minute it struck us that it was a long, treacherous way down, scary thoughts clouded the happy high briefly. So, Diya says that it was a lot of relief. Reaching the top of Mount Everest was actually, it made them a little bit relieved. We had both done it. Proudly, they were saying that we had both done it. It was surreal. Surreal means more like a dream than reality. Surreal means reaching the top of Mount Everest was almost like a dream than a reality. It was very difficult for them to accept this reality. It took a while for the feeling to sink in. So, for them it was very difficult to accept that this is a reality. So, that is what it is said, that it took a while for the feeling to sink in. So, it took a lot of time to accept the fact that they reached the top of the Mount Everest. But the minute it struck us that it was a long treacherous way down, scary thoughts clouded the happy high briefly. So, the time they realized that, they reached the top of the mountain, then suddenly a series of fearful thoughts occurred. Until that moment, they were very much happy, they were very much proud, they were very much enthusiastic. But the time they realized that they reached the top of the mountain, they came to know about one thing, that once they reach the top of the summit, they have to come back. Climbing down the mountain is entirely different from climbing up the mountain. So, coming back is actually a very difficult task. It was not a good task. It was not as easy as climbing up the mountain. So, when they thought about such things, all those happy mode, all those happiness, all those proudness, all those enthusiasm left. So coming down from the top of the mountain is really treacherous. Treacherous means is really dangerous. So, suddenly scary thoughts. Scary thoughts means, as you know, fearful thoughts. Scary thoughts clouded the happy high briefly. So, suddenly the happiness, the proudness, everything went, everything left, and they became more afraid. Ajit: yes, getting to the summit was a big high, but we soon realized that going up is optional, but coming down is mandatory. It was another ball game because you could see the scale of the drop and how narrow the path was and how dangerous it was going to be. We had to be really careful and focused. Yes, getting to the summit was a big high, but we soon realized that going up is optional, but coming down is mandatory. So, Ajit says that climbing up the mountain was actually optional. It was up to us whether we can decide. We can decide whether we need to climb the mountain or not. But once you climbed the mountain, once you reached the top of the mountain, then you have to come back. You need to come back, and going up is optional. So, in that way we can say that, we can see that going up is optional and coming down is not optional. Once you reached the top of the mountain, you have to come back. There is no other option. So, it is mandatory. It was another ball game because you could see the scale of the drop and how narrow the path was and how dangerous it was going to be. So, Ajit says that they need to be very much concentrated, they need to be very much focused, they need to be very much alert while coming down, because the path is very narrow. Even a minute carelessness harm their life. So, in that way they need to be very much focused, they need to be very much concentrated, and they need to be very much careful while climbing down. So, I think this is enough for today. So, we are going to wind up this session. Anyway, I hope that you understood all those things we discussed today. Anyway, thank you and have a nice day.